Hey everybody, welcome back. We are going to review one of our top rated trail shoes of this year, the NNormal Kjerag 2. As always, we're going to go over each section of this shoe, its objective testing scores we gave with an overall score at the end. As always, I paid with the shoe with my own money, $195. This is sponsor free and we're here to just tell you the truth about this shoe. So going over comfort and fit, our first section. When I first slipped these on, I could immediately tell it was definitely different than all the other trail shoes out there. It doesn't have that over-padded, squishy feeling that most brands use to fake the comfort on them. It's firm in the right ways, but it's also stable and balanced. It's not for all the wide-footed runners out there. Unfortunately, these don't come in a wide option, and they do run a bit narrow through the midfoot here. I tested a men's size 10.5. At first, it felt a little snug. After the first run, they started to open up a little bit naturally. They broke in quick. They're really tight where you need them to be right here in the midfoot for good stability, which we'll get to in a second. But it's also roomy, especially in the toe box where you need to breathe. We measured the toe box at 3.2 inches. My toes could spread across on climbs and descents. They weren't cramped like you get in those more narrow models. The midsole cushioning is very nice here. It hits the sweet spot between being stable and soft. So it's made with TPEE foam. It gives a nice smooth rebound, as you can see. They don't over compress with these shoes. It's firm enough for that nice trail feel that you want, but also not super plush where you're gonna have that topple over effect. Your foot sinks slightly into the shoe for just enough comfort, but it doesn't kill that connection with the trail. One of my favorite designs is the gusseted tongue on this shoe. It's not even really a tongue, I just call it a second sock that just sits on top of your foot. It's not over compressive or anything, and it definitely brings down the weight as well. The shoe definitely molds around your foot, fits it like a glove. It's got the Matryx upper, which we'll go over in a second. Definitely more of a custom fitting shoe, and the gusseted tongue does a good job of keeping debris out. Impact absorption is definitely another win with this shoe. As you can see, the stack height looks pretty big on these. We measured it at 26 millimeters, so it's closer to a more minimal stack height. It really hits that fine line between enough cushioning on the impact while still letting you have that trail feel that most people want for those technical trails. So now let's talk about the Matryx upper. A lot of new trail shoes have been putting the Matryx upper into their new designs, and I'm really impressed with it. So a lot of trail shoes have just synthetic material. The Matryx is actually carbon fiber. It's also made up of Kevlar fibers as well. It's a lot more durable. It hugs your foot better for more stability, and overall it just gives way better protection on the trail. No scrapes, no scratches, nothing crazy, no delamination with these sorts of shoes. So overall it's definitely worth it when it comes to that new upgrade on the upper, because it does come at a premium price. In addition, it has a rockered sole, as you can see, very subtle. It gives that nice forward transition to your foot. Definitely saves you some energy return and less foot fatigue overall. Honestly, I wish more brands would just build shoes like this, built for fit and structure, but comfortable at the same time. So we rated the comfort and fit a 9 out of 10. Also, as just a quick aside, there are links down below if you'd like to purchase a shoe in the description. They have the lowest possible price as well as exclusive discounts. Those links help us stay sponsored free, and they're completely reader supported. Back to the review. Traction is where the shoe definitely stands out. It's got the Vibram Mega Grip Litebase. You might say, it's not made for technical trails. The shoe is an oxymoron. It may have 3.5 millimeter lugs, but they definitely bite aggressively, more like the 5 millimeter lugs you see out there. The Vibram Litebase also takes off a bunch of weight on the shoe, which is another added benefit of the Kjerag. The grip was exceptional on the trail with these technical trails, light trails, moderate trails, anything in between. It grips extremely well. Instead of relying on deep, bulky lugs that slow you down, these smaller, sharper lugs cut into the ground a little bit more efficiently than you'd actually expect. I'd say that's one of the things that makes this shoe the most unique and why it's one of our top rated shoes of this year. They're shaped like double rhomboids, as you can see, in the center for better surface contact, and then they have single rhomboids around the edges here for the extra bite and the push off you want on the trail. I didn't really notice that at first because I did look at the shoe shape. I was like, it's not that unique, but definitely when you're running downhill, it really sticks for you, and when you're really decelerating, it helps with that braking action. As always, we test these on different surfaces: wet granite, loose gravel, sandstone, hard packed dirt, even a little bit of sleet, and the grip held extremely well for all those phases. It's right up there with the Salomon Speedcross 6 for who fans of that. Good for super rough terrain. The one good thing about the Vibram Litebase, it shaves off that excess rubber like we were talking about, but you get that same Mega Grip performance without less bulk. I would say a lot more shoes are switching to the light base rather than the Mega Grip now. So overall, we rated the traction a 9 out of 10. That is in the top 5 for best traction of all the trail shoes we have tested so far. So stability and support, it definitely hits a sweet middle ground between structure and freedom. It's stable enough for technical runs, but it's not overbuilt. It's not like a crazy machine like the Olympus 6. So like we were talking about, the midfoot runs slightly narrow, but the forefoot really opens up here, gives you a nice stable base for you to really plantar flex your foot. And the forefoot opens up a lot here, so you get a nice stable base when you're planting down with that forward forefoot flexion. It has a 6mm drop right in that neutral zone most runners like, rather than having a high heel to toe drop or the 0 like the Ultras. I will say I would not use these on road to trail transitions because of the light base. You'll wear that one out way too much on asphalt or concrete, so that's one thing that this shoe is not best for. The torsional rigidity, as you can see, it's pretty excellent. It resists unwanted twists, keeps your foot aligned on off-camber trails. It's got a nice heel counter as well. Didn't really have any slippage with these. The Matryx upper really makes this shoe because it wraps it like a glove, like I was saying, doesn't allow any internal movement. Now there aren't any heel shanks or anything like that in this shoe, but honestly it doesn't need any. I think if they added a heel shank, it would have added a little bit more weight and just a little bit of that unwanted stability that other shoes become uncomfortable at that point. Honestly, the midsole itself is tuned perfectly. It's firm enough to stabilize you, but soft enough to absorb that impact. If shoes can just nail the structure right, they don't need any internal support systems within themselves. The shoe itself makes up the support system. So overall, it had a nice responsive feel while I was testing this one out. We gave a stability and support score of an 8.5 out of 10. Now weight. This is where the Vibram Litebase really pays off. We weighed the Kjerag 2 in at 9 ounces per shoe. Impressively light for how protective it is. Again, no foot fatigue with this one. It's extremely lightweight on your foot. The added rocker definitely reduces the weight feel of the shoe itself. And overall, my stride was nice and natural with these, good energy return, and a nice good bounce with them. So definitely one of the more lightweight shoes out there on the market currently. So we gave the weight a 9 out of 10. Overall protection. So the Kjerag 2 definitely over delivers on this one. It's got a nice rubber toe cap here up front, shields against sharp rocks, root kicks, things like that. Again, the Matryx upper, super resistant and durable, doesn't rip or tear like those synthetic welded materials out there. The underfoot is nice and solid. It does not have a rock plate, but that T foam definitely absorbs sharp impacts, doesn't really need a rock plate on this model at all. So again, they kind of just nailed the structure of this shoe rather than adding like a carbon forked plate or anything of that sort. So we gave it a protection score of 9 out of 10. Now, durability, the one everybody wants to know about. So after 60 miles of testing, it still feels and looks ready for another 60. The upper is nice and solid, no rips, no tears. The lacing system works great. As you can see, the lugs have held up well. No flattening out, as you would expect with the Vibram Litebase because it's so thin and friable, but it actually held up very well. One thing I would keep an eye on is the welded toe cap here in the upper. That's where a lot of shoes tend to delaminate first. I haven't noticed that on this one yet, but I can see it happening in the future for sure. And overall, the foam of the midsole still feels responsive, doesn't have that bad flattening out effect, nothing of that sort. So durability, we rated it at 8.5 out of 10. Overall, is actually our top rated trail shoe of this year. It's $195, but it does deliver elite level traction, comfort, and durability. I think NNormal really figured out how to build a structured shoe without adding all these other components to it, bring the weight up. That's one of the best aspects of the shoe. It's super light, but it has what you want for stability as well as comfort without adding a bunch of foam or those internal shanks a lot of other shoes have. So I was very impressed with this shoe overall based off all of our testing, and we gave it a score of an 8.9 out of 10. So thank you for listening to our review today. You'll find the lowest verified prices linked in the description with exclusive deals. These are watcher and reader supported links, so they give you the best available pricing and helps us stay sponsor free. If you want to check out the written review of this, you can check out mountaineerjourney.com, where it has all of our best of guides, individual reviews, and comparison reviews. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so we can continue to bring you more objective testing of gear that is sponsor free. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.